My wife baby trapped me. I put baby trap in quotation marks because I'm not sure what she did is the actual definition of baby trap. She didn't have a kid to make me stay, just against my will. So my wife, 32F, and I, 34M, have been together for 8 years. We have a little girl, 5F, and a baby boy, 2M. I love both of them more than anything and I finally feel like I have everything. A beautiful wife, 2 healthy kids, a great career, and a big house. The token American dream, minus the dog. I'm allergic. When we talked about kids before, my wife always said she wanted 2. I only wanted 1, it would be easier and we'd have more money for vacations and stuff, but my wife maintained it's important for a child to have a sibling. I grew up with 4 and my wife with none, so I guess I understand where she's coming from. After our son and getting through the baby years and sleepless nights for the second time, I didn't want to ever go through that again. Both kids were very fussy and colicky. But when he was a year old, my wife began casually mentioning a third. I would laugh it off but finally she sat me down and said we have to have a third. I said no, we agreed on 2, but she said she wanted 4 and 3 as the compromise. I refused and said I wanted 1 and we have 2. She got angry and called me selfish for taking away her dream of wanting a big family. A couple of days later, she apologized and we got intimate. I noticed her energy levels went up a lot, and so did mine, and I was glad to be close with her. She was using birth control, and I had protection, so everything was fine. Thinking back on it, I probably should have figured something was up, but I was barely handling 2 little kids and work on top of housework and yard work and everything. I came home from work one day, while the kids were at their grandparents'. My wife had a huge smile on her face and she sat me down and showed me a positive pregnancy test, literally dancing in joy. My first thought was, oh shit. My wife noticed a less than happy expression on my face and started screaming at me. She berated me for not being supportive and this was a miracle from God and I should be grateful. I said I was sorry and hugged her and said I was super excited for the baby. My wife was delighted and later that night she was calling all family and friends to happily tell them the news. When she was talking about the nursery and how we'll convert my office into a room I started to get a little suspicious. Everything was so well thought out and it seemed like she'd been planning this for a while. When she was asleep, I took the condoms out of the cupboard and ran them underwater. Holes. I nabbed her phone and saw she'd set a password. That was odd. Nevertheless, my wife has a terrible memory so I tried her birthday and it opened. Further up were texts with her best friend of my wife complaining how I wouldn't come around. Her best friend suggested arrange an accident with a winky face. My wife agreed and said she was going to come off of birth control. It went on for a little while, ending with my wife saying that yes, we were going to have a 3RD. So I woke her up immediately and asked her if this had really been a miracle. She got that deer in headlights look and burst into tears. She wailed and then she got angry. Through tears she screamed I had no right to go through her phone and it's her choice whether or not she wants to take BC, the side effects are bad and she was sick. She also brought up if I really didn't want a third kid, I should have had a vasectomy. She told me to go sleep on the couch. I laughed out loud and said no, I'm sleeping here, you're leaving. So while wailing she packed a bag and left to her parents. When she called the next day I told her I just need some time to myself. She said that's fine but I need to come around for our child. I told her I wasn't sure if it'd be our child and she cried more. It's been 2 weeks since then. Governments recommended to stay at home and I knew staying home by myself while also working with 2 kids would not be ideal and she wanted to see our kids. So we're in the same house. She constantly keeps on stopping me and trying to get me excited for our kid and planning the nursery and names and how happy our kids will be to get a younger sibling. I've been ignoring her entirely. What do I do? Staying home with her is bad enough and I don't know if I should leave her over this. I don't trust her anymore. She entirely betrayed it. I'm angry. But I have another child on the way.